I want to speak to the brothers just for a moment. Just for a moment of your time, I want to speak to you for a moment. I was listening to some of the so-called Womansphere, the womanists, the feminists, the black feminists. These females that are promoting the white man. What I find quite interesting is these same black females that support and praise the white man are the same ones that always complain about white supremacy. How can you complain about white supremacy when you're strengthening the hands of white supremacy? You strengthen white supremacy by bashing black men, tearing black men down, referring to black men as nigglets, ashtrays, dusties, dust bunnies. So black men, when you hear black women say this, maybe it's time for you to separate yourself. The thing I can't understand is the fact that a lot of these same black females are raising black sons. So when you spew that type of hatred and disgust towards the so-called nigglets and ashtrays, isn't that how your son, or better yet, isn't that how you're going to look at your sons as they grow older? Do you view your sons as dusties and ashtrays? And unfortunately, a lot of these so-called black females are the ones that inspire their sons to be gay. They emasculate their sons, weakening their sons, making their sons do things that girls usually do. They program their sons to be emotional and be at their every beckoning call. But I find it interesting that these same black females that cry white supremacy are pushing white supremacy. Today's modern redneck are black females. Look at their necks, and you will discover that their necks are starting to change colors. The real redneck is manifesting itself. So I have a solution for the black man and the black female. It's time to separate. Black females, if you have that type of hatred, that type of disgust and distrust with black men, why do you spend so much time making these videos and promoting your hatred towards black men? Shouldn't you be moving on with your Whyte Zaddy? If Zaddy is what you want and what you praise and what you lift up on a pedestal, then maybe Zaddy is who you should be with. You should not be wasting your time on dust bunnies, as you say. You should not be spending your time on nigglets, as you say. These are the names that you call black men. These are the names that you call your sons. Your sons hear you talk like that. So what do you think you are doing for their self-esteem? What do you think you're doing for your black girls when they hear you praising the white supremacists? And see, that's why when I hear black females talk about Black Lives Matter, when I hear them talking about white supremacy and speaking down on white people, I don't trust them. Because if you look at Cynthia G was one of those females that talked about white people the same way she's talking about black men. But what happened is white men stood up against her, threatened her channel. So then she switched it. She shifted from hating white men to hating black men. And you can just see the venom ooze out of their pores. So these females that refer to themselves as womanist and the Womansphere and feminist and divine femininity, separate yourself from them chicks, man. Have nothing to do with them. It's best for you just to go your own way. It's interesting just sitting back, observing and watching all of this stuff take place. I'm actually sitting back watching this take place. I'm watching the feud and the battle between black men and black females. I'm sitting back watching the hatred. These are the same people that was on the same side when they were protesting and marching Black Lives Matter. How can you march and protest Black Lives Matter, the same people that vote Democrat, but yet you have so much hatred towards each other? You talk about how black men are defeated, and then you brag about how the white man is now feeling encouraged and empowered because you are empowering him. You are the ones that's causing that white man to feel so empowered that they become law enforcement and kill your sons in the street. Black females are doing that. You're giving the white supremacists power over your sons because they hear what you say about your sons. They hear what you say about black men. But isn't that what your son is or was when he was shot down by police? So I can't take you serious when you claim to be in support of George Floyd. I can't take you serious when you're out there shaking your fist in the wind saying Black Lives Matter, but then you make videos about how much you hate and distrust black men, referring to them by the same racial, with the same racist spirit that the rednecks had, that the white supremacists have. They don't have to do no work because you're doing the work for them. You're the one that's destroying the black family. It's not the system. It's you. So now you have all of these Cynthia G clones that's making videos and talking about these niggas, as you say, these dusties, these nigglets. I've heard that same spirit coming up in the 60s. but I heard it from white people towards black people. That's what they refer to the black woman's child is a niglet. They called your child a niglet, and now you are referring to your children, your sons, as niglets. So how can we trust you? This country has become so diverse that black men have so many other options. You have people from the Middle East. You have those from the UK. You have those from the continent, Africa. You have those that's coming from Asia. So we have a vast option to choose from. So, like an African said to me one time, this dude came from South Africa, this African dude. And he came here to America and he married a white woman, started a business with her. And they have gotten so many contracts with big businesses, cleaning carpet. And I was dialoguing with him one day and I said, let me ask you a question, man. I said, you coming from South Africa and you've experienced white minority rule. How could you come to America and then marry the same type of woman that you fought against in South Africa? And his answer to me was, when I came to America, I tried to talk to the black women. They rejected me. They weren't interested in me. They turned me down. He says, so after trying so long, you end up going for the ones that will accept you. Those that accept you are the ones that you should go for. So if you have other races and other nationalities that find interest in you, then that's who you should be with. You should be like a lot of black females, like the message that a lot of black females are promoting. They're telling black females to move on. So maybe you should move on and think twice, 3 times before you decide to lay down with her and produce children. See, that's the mistake that a lot of black men make, is laying down with these females and producing children by them, giving them power to ensnare you. So when you lay down with this black female that you know that hates you, and many of you brothers are sleeping with the enemy, you have no idea that she's got a YouTube channel because she's not showing her face. She's got an image up of a cartoon and she's railing to the world about you without mentioning your name. And this is the same female that will sign off and go in the kitchen and fix your food. So you have the enemy cooking and feeding you. There's no telling what she did to your food. And you're sitting there eating it thinking that she loves you. You're praising her, talking about how great she is, how good of a woman she is. You're putting your life on the line protecting her. And online, she despises you. She despises you because She never shows her face online. But she's got all these videos trashing black men, referring to you as a dusty, referring to you as an ashtray. These are the same racist terms I heard from racist white people coming up in the 60s. So, the best thing to do for black men is to move on. I'm not talking about deadbeats. I'm not talking about these no good bums. I'm talking about these brothers because I've watched so many black men, so many young black boys change their lives just because of the fact that they felt women like that. There are so many dudes that I remember when dudes started sagging their pants. A lot of good dudes that was educated, had good jobs, and doing well for themselves, came from good families. And because there's females that said they like a dude that sagged their pants, these dudes started sagging their pants. And just because these females talked about how much they love a dude covered with tattoos, now you had a lot of these good dudes started covering their body with tattoos because they heard black women say that's what they like. So black men did everything in their power to please them. And yet they still turn away from them and promote white supremacy over them. Talk about how no good they are, how dirty they are, how dusty they are, how no good. And yet they're talking about how great the white man is and how every black female should have her white man. Well, let them have them. Let these black females have their white men. You lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. Let them have their white men. Why would you stay and fight for someone that don't like you, that despise you, that hates you? Why would you allow yourself to submit to white supremacy? Black females represent white supremacy. They preach white supremacy. They promote white supremacy. They are empowering the white man to believe that they're so much better and so much of a man than black men. Because that's what black females are telling them. They're telling them that they treat them better than black men do. So now they're showing themselves to be extremely desperate, running after white dudes that care nothing about them, that would only use them up and toss them to the curb. Cynthia G don't really talk about her divorce from Zaddy. She talks about black men. But if white men are so much greater than black men, why do you spend so much time on black men? Why do you spend so much time making all of these videos? Maybe your videos should be about how great white men are. You should never have to mention black men because you chose to be with a white man. Right? He's the one that you're worshiping. He's the one that you're praising. Right? So shouldn't that be the one that you talk about in your videos? Instead of stressing yourself out, showing how much you hate black men, it's not good for your health at all. So the best solution for black females and black men is to go your own way. Spend no more time talking about what black men did, because we are not your men and you are not our women. So feedback, tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm fearless.